Welcome back to Makeup Effects Live 2015 here at IMATS. And we are here with G.I. Jerry, who is an elderly soldier. He's very vigilant right now, and I would not be trying to rush this booth because we've got G.I. Jerry here to protect us. G.I. Jerry is actually Michael Segovia. It's a makeup done by Rob Burman. Hey, Rob.
Hi, how you doing,
Welcome
Matt?
to the webcast. We're also joined by Fred Blau
Thank you,
Jr.
Matt.
How are you, Fred?
Very excellent. Thank
Welcome
you.
to the show, and welcome, G.I. Jerry.
Hi, where am I?
you're at a makeup trade show, the International Makeup Artist Trade Show.
Oh, makeup. My wife puts that on.
Your wife is into the makeup. How old are you, Jerry? Hey, Rob.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
He's good. Tell us a little bit about the makeup.
Actually, this is a makeup I designed a couple of years ago for one of my classes that I teach. And I decided to recreate him and take him up another step and make him something else. And I thought a great mashup would be, what's G.I. Joe look like in his doting years, you know?
Tell us, this is a foam appliance?
Yeah, I think it's 7 pieces. Foam latex makeup. It's all colored in the new Mel Pax colors, which are awesome.
We're going to be talking to Alan later about those colors.
Yeah, he really hit it out of the park with his stuff, and that's it. Just
and
a
what
few
else?
colors.
What about the hair work?
The hair is I got a flocking gun, so I went in and did the flocking on and made it nice and fuzzy and all of that stuff because he had to have lifelike hair.
So for those of you makeup artists who don't know, flocking is a fantastic technique to get that really closely shorn look. There's really no way to get it otherwise.
Yeah,
I mean, you can punch,
and things
you can
like
punch
that,
finely and then shave it down, but flocking is
well,
the
flocking you can do that look that takes you a week by hand punching. In about 5 minutes.
So we go 5 minutes is better than a week in some cases.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, G.I. Jerry. I feel very uncomfortable with you not patrolling the entire show. Okay. Yeah, we think you need to get out on patrol and let us. Thank you. Don't shoot anyone. Don't shoot anyone. Thank you, G.I. Jerry. All right. Well,
it's great when you've got a makeup and you got a model that knows how to play with it and have fun.
Well, it doesn't matter how good your makeup is if you don't have an actor who knows how to deliver the performance through the makeup. It doesn't.
You look like a stick.
You look like a stick.
Yeah.
And you two, I think, sort of the theme of our time here, because we've got some new blood in the makeup effects industry who've joined us. You guys are definitely not new blood.
Yeah.
You have been in this business for many years. Fred, since the 60s?
Yeah, 63.
63. And Rob, you have been in the makeup industry since the day you were born. You are part of the Burman dynasty. Why don't we start, Rob, tell us a little bit about your family, where you came from, and some of the heavyweights who have come from the family tree.
The quick 5-minute version. My grandfather came out from the Midwest, and one of his first jobs was making the cane that kills the Wolfman in the original Wolfman in 1941.
That's where it all starts, people.
He met Jack
Burmans
Pierce.
were there.
Jack Pierce says, "Hey, you sculpt and mold and all that stuff, don't you?" And my grandfather said, "Yes." He says, "If you don't tell anybody, I'll have you make all my stuff." So kept my grandfather busy for a long time doing that.
Why couldn't he tell anyone?
Well, because Jack was secretive. He didn't want people to think that somebody else was doing his work for him.
Ah, I see.
You know. And so then my father, when he got out of the Marine Corps in
That's Tom Burman. For those of you who know anything about makeup, Tom Burman, one of the pillars of the industry.
He got out of the Marine Corps around early 1960s, and by 1966 he got an apprenticeship at Fox. And he was there, and they had a big show coming in. Oh my God, they got to get this, and who should we get? And my dad suggested John Chambers, and okay, well, let's call John and get him in here. And they started on a 4-foot by 8-foot table the entire Planet of the Apes franchise. So by the time I got out of high school, I'd played with enough clay and hung around his shop long enough that I just kind of stayed there and cleaned and did all the work and did sort of the Karate Kid training, wax on, wax off, and don't touch that. And, you know.
Tom's nickname was Mr. Miyagi, I remember.
Pretty much.
I remember.
And then in the end, I just stayed with it. And so since 79 or 80, I've been full-time monster maker.
And since then, you have been a very busy man. You've seen Rob's work on Star Trek, Ghostbusters, The Fly, working closely with Chris Walas.
Yeah, that was
on
fun.
that one.
Enjoyed it.
Super Mario Brothers, super fun. Scrooged, Howling 2, The Thing, another benchmark of...
The Thing, what's that?
Yeah, The Thing. I think
I've
if you
heard
love
about
The
that movie.
Thing, type in I love The Thing in the comments, or just clap. And Cat People. You have won, you've had a Saturn nomination for Best Makeup for Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
And you have your own company, Rubberware, which we're going to talk more about towards the end of the segment, and we'll give people a heads up where they can find your stuff.
Sure.
That's Rob Burman.
That's me.
And sitting next to him, as I mentioned earlier, is Fred Blau Jr. Fred, you've been knocking around forever. You do brilliant, brilliant work.
Thank you, man.
And you also have Real Creations.
Yes, I do.
Where you have your own line of products. You've seen Fred's work in Apocalypse Now. Yes, he worked on for a year. You were on that show?
We were in the Philippines for a year over a period of 15 months.
So you basically went to war for real.
Yes.
In the Philippines on that movie.
Really. That was amazing.
The Quick and the Dead, Blade, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Rick Baker. Planet of the Apes again with Rick Baker, Addams Family Values, and way back, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
And
that classic film with Elizabeth
Cool
Taylor.
Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke with Paul Newman.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have touched Paul Newman. You have touched, who else have you touched? Famous people.
Watch your language.
Let's just say Fred has had his hands on some of the most legendary actors and actresses.
I was assistant on Cool Hand Luke, and what happened is one of the makeup artists on the show had another project coming up, and he couldn't finish the show, and I just passed my apprenticeship and became a journeyman, and the next thing I knew, I was out of work. You know, and then George Blau, who was my main mentor over at Warner Brothers, called me up. He says, "Fred, come on over. I got a job for you. Pack your bags. You're going up north to Sacramento." And then Bob Blau, his son, was the head man. He was doing Paul Newman, and then I did all the other people. And
such a fantastic movie.
It was really good, and it was where I did my first tattoo for a person on the screen, and it had to be done in grease paint. It was a nightmare.
Smeared and smudged.
And, oh yeah, that's the worst
not
possible
only that,
medium
but
for
the actor, I would go into have to go to his hotel room real early, and he'd be coming out of a hangover, and there's a half a gallon of spinata or something.
We're not going to name any names. We won't name any names.
No.
What part did he play? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Don't tell us who the drunk actor was.
It was rough. And then to touch it up every day was just miserable. And but we got through it.
And then you worked with Rod Steiger.
Yes, on the Illustrated Man.
On the Illustrated Man,
and that's where
which was all about the tattoos.
Right, and that's where the process of doing the transfers came about. And later on, we did the movie Tattoo with Bruce Dern and Maud Adams.
Which that's where we first met, actually, was I was doing stencils and stuff for you on Maud Adams' body.
Right.
So we both touched Maud Adams.
You both touched Maud Adams? Google Maud Adams. She's wow.
She's a beautiful lady. And I've seen her since. She happens to be a dear friend of my cousin. And I saw her a couple of years ago, and she looks great. And,
awesome.
you know,
did you ask if you could reapply a little tattoo as a memory of days past? No, she wasn't up for that.
I was up. I was with Bruce Dern the most time. I didn't want to get used to it.
I have a fun story for you, Fred. I believe I wore one of your. Was Roddy McDowall's character in the TV Planet of the Apes? Was it Galen?
Galen. Yes.
My father took me to my kindergarten class. It was a bring your parent to work. Or it was a what does your parent do for a living day?
Yes.
I was 5.
By the way, his father is Stan Winston.
Yes.
No,
Stan Winston.
My father's
God
Stan
bless
Winston.
him.
We've established that earlier in the broadcast. But reminders, yes. Dad was Stan Winston. I remember he had a drawer full of prosthetics from the show.
Absolutely.
And he had Galen prosthetics, and he took me to my class and turned me into that character using those prosthetics.
Love it.
I was 5 years old. So
well, the same thing happened to my 3 kids. We had one of them made up as a gorilla, the other one made up as a chimpanzee, and another one made up as the orangutan. And so this is Halloween. They're going to go trick-or-treating, right? They got maybe to the 4th house because every house that they went to, everybody stopped. Well, we have to take pictures. And they said to me, Dad, I don't ever do this again because I didn't get any candy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get any trick or treats. And then we took them to the market, and people would walk by them, and all of a sudden it's that stop, and they would turn around, and in fact, Stan, your dad, did one of them. Tom did the other one, and I think may have been Bill Tuttle did the third one.
That's fantastic.
I mean, I had the best people in Hollywood.
So that's where he got the runs from. That's what he put on me. It must have been the same. It was 1975.
I know. Yeah.
Is that about?
Yeah, it was about right. Yeah.
I have a quick one. This is fun that we're talking about, because I'm sure you got stories about your dad. Similar story. My dad, for one Halloween, decided, or I said to Dad, I was big into the Lord of the Rings. And I said I wanted to be a dwarf from Lord of the Rings.
Right.
So he sculpted me a prosthetic over a life cast of my face.
Right.
Fantastic hair work he had used from a Pinocchio TV show he had done, this beautiful Danny Kaye wig, beard,
I love it.
prosthetics. My mom made a dwarf costume, went to a little party with a bunch of other 5th graders, and within 5 minutes everyone's playing Spin the Bottle, and I'm a dwarf. And I was so embarrassed, I went into the bathroom without any remover and just started pulling chunks of latex off my face. That was the last Halloween I ever dressed up.
Oh, my goodness.
So we creature folk, we dress up every day but Halloween.
Oh, I love it.
Can't do Halloween. Well, maybe you do Halloween. I think you still do. How about you, Rob? Talk to me. I mean, you guys had the epic haunted backyard.
Well, yeah, there were the
Burman backyard.
1 year when we borrowed a bunch of your stuff from your dad who had just done Dead and Buried.
Yep.
We borrowed a bunch of stuff from my dad who had just had done Cat People.
Oh, wow.
And so you walked in through this haunted house. We had, for 4 hours, a 45-minute wait to get through my backyard.
It was great.
And we would send people through in groups of 10, and people were blacking out. They were throwing up. They were just, it was awesome.
Were they blacking out before throwing up or after the throwing up?
Well, the little girl blacked out when the white ape jumped around the corner.
Yes.
And she just went, huh, you know. And then the other woman got sick as she was leaving out because there was the leg on the barbecue and the fetus in the jar.
The fetus in the jar.
You know, and that was
pushed
like, okay,
people over
done.
the edge.
And well, with your dad there pulling the heart out of one of his dead and buried things, and my dad sticking needles in its eye and stuff.
Well, they were both hams.
Awesome.
Both our dads had that in common.
Closet performance.
Hams, both of them.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know, the Burman Winston history is very long.
Yeah.
My father, the studio was our house, you know. It was a little room off the garage, and then when he needed to grow, he went and leased out
rented a studio space at my dad's.
Space from Tom's.
Yeah.
And so I spent a lot of time
at the Parthenia one after that, and they did Exterminator right after that.
That's
and
right.
It just took off.
That's right. But I remember walking your dad's shop and seeing the Prophecy Bear was going on, and
I tell people I threw away the Prophecy babies because they were melting into the tabletop.
This was a mutant grizzly movie, The Prophecy.
I still have people cursing me about that.
Oh, wow.
No.
You did what?
No.
No. I was told to. What do you want me to do?
I threw away the fetuses. No, you put them in a jar for your next Halloween backyard event.
I should have.
Right?
Should have.
If you have any kind of fake fetuses, don't throw them away because Halloween's coming up. On that note, let's switch over to your companies, guys, because we're coming towards the last 10 minutes. Talk to us about, we'll start with Rubberware.
Rubberware, we started almost 20 years ago as a generic over-the-counter foam latex prosthetic supplier because I'd get calls at night, I need a pig nose tomorrow. Well, So I knew that there was a market that needed to fill, and so we started making those, and you know,
And when
through
you say
word of mouth and all.
please give a shout out.
My lovely wife Jennifer McManus and I, and my crew that I have. You know, I have my girl Alex that's doing stuff, and my other assistants. You know, it does really well, and I'm really happy for it. I'm glad. You can go to getrubberware.com, and it has all of our distributors and everything listed there.
And you should all know, I know they're Namies, Nigel's, Friends carries your stuff.
Yeah, we got about 40 distributors around the world right now.
So Rubberware is everywhere, and you spell it like it sounds, Rubberware. All one word, but the W is capitalized.
It's, yeah, getrubberware.com.
Getrubberware.com, and we actually
That's fine,
have
yes.
a link to the site in the description of this video. So
Right.
just scroll down and check it out. Also, Namies, we talked to Sam earlier, is offering a 20% discount on all purchases, and Rubberware is included in that.
Awesome.
Right? And
That's
is
fabulous.
Real Creations over at Namies?
It may be.
Well, there you go. Well, Namies, so you can apply your Namies discount to
yeah.
You can
Fred's
go
stuff
into
as
the
well.
major suppliers and you can see Real Creations products.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Just
so
there, you
there's
know.
you're going to get some discount on Real Creations. Let's talk about Real Creations, Fred.
Well, we started Real Creations, and I say we, it was my former business partner, Mike Hancock. We started Real Creations back in 1980. And from there, we were mainly doing tattoos because Mike was the innovator of the tattoo base. And then we went to New York and went to a pigment and dye company, and we wanted to know whether to use pigments or dyes in the formula, and and we ended up using pigments, and everything was wonderful. And what happened when we first started using the product on the movie Tattoo with Bruce Stern and Maude Adams, the inks held up so well that we literally saved them 1 day shooting. We got everything done in 3 days instead of 4, which would have gone over the Memorial Day weekend. And
So you can save a film if you use
yes.
Real Creations products.
Yes.
I think that's what we're
it
saying.
lasts. It just lasts.
And what is the web URL so they can check out?
Our website is creations.com.
Great. And those, I believe those cards for both of your companies, or I think we brought you on a little later in the broadcast, but at least for Rubberware, should be in the next commercial block. But same as with Rob, scroll down the video description, and there's a link to check out Real Creations.
Real Creations, yeah.
And buy some of their stuff. So, guys, we have a question from the crowd. What genre of makeup excites you most? What is it? The zombie style, fantasy character, monster? What genre of makeup do you have most?
I've got to give you a
pleasure
little
doing?
kudos because my absolute favorite makeup, monster makeup, was the Predator.
Well, that's not technically a makeup, Fred. That's more of a mask with animatronic features.
I understand
but
that.
It fits
but
within our world.
We'll take the...
It is just, to me, the most creative. And the reason I like it so much is when they did the Predator 2, your father had to come up with, what, 20 different Predators.
Of course, it's a
and
sequel. You have to have more.
They
Right.
all looked different.
Yep.
Individual.
And it's like saying to a makeup artist, do 10 clowns. Think
10
about
beauty
it.
makeups.
Or 10 beauty makeups. But 10 clowns. Think about that. That's
a lot of clowns.
That's a lot
and I'm
of
gonna have
clowns.
nightmares just thinking
Yes.
about that.
And,
It is frightening.
And when I saw the Predator, I thought of that one point posted to me. Do 10 clowns. I just said, whoa! I don't care if they were masks. I don't care if they were appliances. The look was unbelievable. And
Well-
I really had to. That's major creations.
Well, Dad had obviously his own
His
own creative genius, and he surrounded
was.
himself with
Oh.
so many brilliant artists.
Absolutely.
And as with everything in this industry, it was a great team effort, and that
Yeah.
one has stood the
Yeah.
test of time. And I think he'll always be associated with Predator.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you
Amongst
guys.
others, so,
yes. Anything that you want to point out, highlights of the show for you guys so far? You've been here for a couple days, so.
Oh, the Rubberware booth and Real Creations is pretty impressive.
I hear that's where it's happening.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming by, and it's very nice. It's very nice.
Good.
And a lot of people don't understand it, and so when you explain it to them, to show them what you've done, it really works. We have one guy that he does a marathon type race.
Like an Iron Man thing.
Yeah, it's an Iron Man thing, and his wife paints him with our inks every time, and every race he's in, it's a different race. And so
it holds.
And it holds
up and stays.
He's going through mud, he's going through fire, he's going through everything. And swimming, and it's quite
My
a
product
thing
bounces.
So, okay, to wrap up the segment, if you want to run a marathon with
or bounce.
Or bounce.
or bounce.
You get in touch with Fred and Rob.
That's right.
And once again, it's Real Creations and Rubberware. And
All right.
thank you both so much for agreeing to be on the
thank
show.
you, Matt.
Really appreciate it.
Really enjoyed
Anytime.
that.
And next up, we have more fun. We have Norman Cabrera guest hosting a segment.
There you go.
And he's going to be talking to Tom Hester, who's one
Awesome.
of Rick Baker's original bunch, worked on American Werewolf and so many other great films. Norman is going to be geeking out with Tom, and that's coming up after the break. So stick around. Don't change that YouTube channel. Keep watching, and we'll see you soon.